At every point, I was like, oh, they're done, they're finished. But you somehow went into the recesses and out of nowhere, you achieved something. And for me, that's what I rate and rank higher than anything. I don't care about goals against Elche, Lugo, Ibiza. I don't care. It's about the biggest teams on the biggest stage under the most difficult circumstances. Kareem, the freaking dream, man. What an amazing turnaround. Because you see, I'm one of those guys who I hate repetition. I hate the same thing again and again and again. Because I think some people, they love that. Some people love that. Some people just like seeing the same thing again and again. I was never a fan of the Messi Cristiano dominance. I never was. So I wasn't one of those guys who I'm of the Messi camp, of the Cristiano camp. Because for me, I think the beauty about football and the beauty about life is you have your time and then your time goes. Because for me, like I am a guy that I can get bored quite easily by doing the same thing, which is why I hated school. I hate the same thing happening again and again and again. I love new things, a new way of doing things, a new day, something fresh, something revamped, a whole different revamped outlook. It's what I'm a fan of, which is why it was so good when Modric won that Ballon d'Or. But with what Benzema has done this year, I think a conversation has to be had. Because this is a precedent of what is going to be a complete sweep of all individual awards. The FIFA Best Award, the Ballon d'Or, there is no one close. Because for me, I mean, people may argue, but I don't care because I know I'm right. Throughout all the years I've been watching football, there has never been a clearer winner of a individual best player award than Benzema. There's never been. You know, I mean, I was going through the days of Rivaldo, R9 Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Dino, Messi, Cristiano. And there are times when Messi wins, like, boom. But it has never been as clear as this. And the simple reason for that is D.O.D. I don't think Benzema is as good as Dino was at his peak. He was nowhere near as good as R9 was at his peak. Benzema was nowhere near good as Cristiano at his peak or Messi at his peak. All those guys at their peak were better than Benzema, better players. But what separates Benzema from all those guys is all those guys never had D.O.D. They had amazing, superb seasons where they were the best player, but it wasn't special. You see, people say, wait a minute. What about the 91 goals by Messi? That's cool. But in the same year, Chelsea won that UCL and beat them in that UCL semi. So as good as that was and as incredible as that feat was, it wasn't D.O.D. It wasn't D.O.D. It wasn't D.O.D. It was an amazing feat. That's what what Messi did was amazing. What Cristiano did in that freaking UCL run was amazing. But I think what Benzema did, not only in La Liga but in the UCL under the most difficult circumstances, was outstanding. Which is why I love and I champion this idea that I bring in called D.O.D. Because D.O.D, I think, is a very important measuring stick, which is why I try and bring it into football analysis. Because the D.O.D is, okay, you're now different. Like, we all have amazing players. Cool. But I want to differentiate those 1%. I want to get the 1% out of the 1%. You know, like I want to really, really go really deep, really, really microscopic as to who is truly the the truly elite player, and to separate the truly elite from the truly amazing. That's what you got to bring in D.O.D. Because look, people bring up the receipts and so forth, and for me, I stand by what Benzema was, which is why makes it such an amazing story. What do they say? People say that Muhammad Ali is more appreciated than, let's say, Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather never lost. No one ever even put Mayweather on the freaking canvas. He was only rocked, I think, twice in his career. I think by Sugar Shane Mosley and someone else, but he never touched the canvas and he never lost. Muhammad Ali lost to Joe Frazier. I can't remember who he lost. He lost to some other guys as well. He took many losses and he even took more L's towards the end of his career. But what people liked is, okay, you win some, you lose some. You went down, but you came back up. Lennox Lewis, every loss that he had, he was avenged. Because the regular individual can connect with the guy who goes from low to high than the guy who was always high. So from a Benzema who was a brick, he was an anvil, he was a scholar. At a point with Cristiano, these are all facts. So it is amazing that he went from there, took the insults, took the abuse mainly from me. I do not apologize for those abuse or insults because they was deserved, but he took those insults, took that abuse, and he came back strong. And what we had, because Benzema has been the best player for the last 2 years, in my view. Same thing as how I said Coutinho has been the best keeper for the last 2 years. So Benzema has been the best player for the last 2 years, but you needed that silverware because in terms of just quality, he's been the best for the last 2 years. But what he did in the Champions League, I've never seen any individual do. Because it's not the same as, had a really good team and we said, what's up? In every game that Real Madrid played, they were the underdogs. PSG were the favorites. Chelsea, as defending champions, were the favorites. And 1000% Man City were the overwhelming favorites in that game. And most people put their money on Liverpool in the final. So, at every given turn, not only were they the underdogs, they were outplayed. They were outplayed for the bulk of the tie against PSG. They were outplayed in the second leg by Chelsea. They were totally outplayed in that first leg against Man City. And people say that Liverpool maybe had the lion's share of the game, but at every given turn, they always believed. I think it's even something that Benzema even sort of mentioned in one of the interviews. He said that it doesn't matter what the situation is, we always believe that we could turn the situation into our favor. Because you see, the reason why, because I have to keep on mentioning D.O.D. I have to. Because D.O.D isn't about your skill or your talent. It's not. Skill and talent, that's all given. See, when guys are on this level, Benzema, Lewandowski, Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, Cristiano, talent is all pretty much, give and take, all pretty much the same. D.O.D is about who you are. It's about who you are, it's your character, which is why for me Maradona is the GOAT. Because Maradona was not only amazing, he was a particular kind of a guy and had a particular kind of a personality. And it was his personality mixed with his amazing talents that for me makes him the greatest football player of all time. Benzema has a particular personality, and his personality is what made him do what he did, because his personality is, it's real, let's go. No. So I now need to say what's up. Okay, let's ride. Let's ride. And because for me, like, it becomes, the reason why it's so clear, because think about it. The closest person, he with 523 points, Karim Benzema wins UEFA Player of the Year with the biggest margin in the history of the award. The previous record was held by Cristiano Ronaldo with 482 points in 2016-2017. Historic. Okay, that's when obviously they defended their title. And not only that. So Benzema won the UEFA Player of the Award by the biggest margin in the award's history. The gap between Benzema and De Bruyne is 401. So think about that. The closest person to Benzema was De Bruyne. And De Bruyne, he had a damn good season and so forth. But the gap between what Benzema did and what the second person did was gargantuan. It was freaking gargantuan. So it's like, it is the most obvious year you've ever seen of a player. And for me, it is so good because it's new. The Cristiano and Messi thing, that's done. It's finished. Like, their last hurrah is obviously going to be at this World Cup, but it's finished. We're now entering into a whole different era with new faces. And the reason why this is so good is because football is bigger than any one individual. No individual is bigger than football. No big. Like if there was ever an individual bigger than football, it'd be either Pele or Maradona. Neither of them were. There is no individual bigger than that for football. No one. Like if you're a Messi, Cristiano fanboy, and that's all you know, cool. Once they retire, see yourself out at the door. I'm still always going to be here because I'm always going to be that football guy. So for Benzema, I'm so happy for him because I understood what it was playing with Cristiano and understood what he gave up. I had to abuse my to insult him, but I understood how he sacrificed his game in order for the greater good. Because he could have been selfish. He could have always wanted his and so forth, but he was like, no, this is about the team. And I have to now minimize my game, restrict my game to amplify Cristiano's game, which leads us to these titles and those UCLs. But I think what you've now seen is, oh my gosh, this, like Ben, because you have to understand this. And that is what makes Benzema the 1% of the 1%. Because the 1% are the hugely talented guys, super amazing talent. But the 1% of the 1%, that the microscopic group in that already small group are the guys with the character and the personality, because it's the personality and the character that separates those guys from the ultra talented, which is what we thought Neymar could be, because Neymar has that character. So for Benzema, I just think that I'm happy for him because he's finally getting the credit he deserves. He's finally getting his flowers. He's finally getting the accolades that he 100% he deserves. Because again, I will say this again. I feel privileged to go on that run. We all shared it together on Twitch and on YouTube and my reactions to this stuff, because that was one of, just as a football fan. I told you I'm a football fan before anything else. As a football fan, I felt privileged to go through those crazy whirlwind roller coaster of emotions that Real Madrid and Benzema took us through, where at every point I was like, oh, they're done, they're finished. But you somehow went into the recesses and out of nowhere, you achieved something. And for me, that's what I rate and rank higher than anything. I don't care about goals against Elche, Lugo, Ibiza. I don't care. It's about the biggest teams on the biggest stage under the most difficult circumstances. If you see what's up on the easy circumstances, I'll still give you kudos, but not as much kudos if, oh no, this is hard. This is difficult. Your team is inferior to this or the other team. Oh my gosh, you're a goal down. You're 2 goals down. Time's running out. We're now in injury time. And you find a way. I'm with you. So, yeah, like I said again, the most obvious winner of the individual award, no one comes close. And I've never seen an individual so clearly be the best in a year than what Benzema did this year. People may agree. I know people in the comments will say, oh no, what about Messi this year? What about Cristiano this year? Cool. But I'm telling you what the fact is. This is not my opinion. This is a cold hard fact. There's never been a guy who has so clearly been the best by such a wide margin than Benzema. I don't care about what the numbers say. I'm saying what my eye test says as a GOAT analyst. And for Benzema, can he get a World Cup? That sounds good to watch, but can he somehow do this for a World Cup? If he does, if Benzema somehow does this at the World Cup, we're going to be having a conversation that no one wants to have. And you know what? We're going to be having a conversation that nobody wants to have. And you know what that conversation is? There are 5. And there can be 6, there can be 7, but currently 5. I'm just saying.